to my channel. I have a tutorial for this look for you today. I used several different palettes to create this look, but I wanted to play with some pinky reds and purple today. So yeah, if you're ready to see how to get this look, then just keep watching. So we're going to start right off with this look using the Smashbox 24-hour Photo Finish Primerizer. This is actually a sample size that I got a while back with an eyeshadow palette. I am showing you the 3 eyeshadow palettes I'm using to create today's video. I just swatched some colors on my arm that I thought would look good together, and you can feel free to use whatever you have on hand. So, starting out with the Kathleenlights Dreams and Colourpop Dream Street palette, I'm dipping into this brown transition shade. It is a bit on the warm side, so I thought that would look nice with the purples and pinks we have going on today. And I am just buffing this all over the crease area, just so that we have a nice base of a transition shade for the purples we're about to add to the lid. Now we're dipping into the Sagittarius from the Colourpop and Kathleenlights, again, Zodiac palette, and I am buffing this into the crease. I am going very slowly and making sure to blend it out very well, and I'm also flicking up the end a little bit to create almost a cat eye, but you can kind of see the shape I'm going. It is where the tip of my winged eyeliner would be. So however best suits your eye shape, try to do it that way, and I'm just flicking it up toward my eyebrow at the end. Almost like an eyeshadow form of a winged liner. And I am taking another brush just to blend it out every now and then and just gradually building up this color in the crease. Now I'm dipping into this Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette into the shade Framed, and this is just a deeper purple, a bit darker, and this color is a little bit more difficult to work with, so I'm taking my time to buff this out, and I'm focusing it more directly in the crease just to deepen things up a bit, and I am following the same shape on the edge of the eye to flick it up at the end. After repeating on the other eye, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the rest of my face before finishing up my eyes. So, taking the Colourpop Bangin Brunette Brow Gel and the Brow Gel brush, I am using that to draw my eyebrows. And I'm taking this Flower Beauty in your primer, the hydrating one, and rubbing it all over my face to prime. And then for my foundation today, I'm going to be using the Colourpop foundation stick. As you can tell, if you've seen some of my other videos, I tend to use this foundation a lot. I find it really easy to apply. It's the first stick foundation I've ever used, and it really feels nice and light on the skin. So I am applying that today as I do most days because of that. I really am liking it, and it's cheap, so that's another plus. And I'm just taking my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge to buff that into my skin. I make sure to bring it down my neck a little bit to blend it with my neck because it is not quite the right shade for me at the moment, but it'll do. As you can tell, I did point out, I think I got a bug bite right before this video. I noticed that red mark on my cheek, but it's gone now and it's only been a few hours, so not sure what happened there. Anyway, I'm just blending out the foundation. And now I am taking my Colourpop, again, No Filter Concealer, and I am putting this just underneath the eyes, and I don't find that putting a whole lot on the bridge of my nose is very flattering for me, so I'm not doing that as much anymore, but it is habit, so I did one dot there. Anyway, and I'm taking the same Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, and I'm using the pointed side to buff that underneath my eye and on the center of my forehead and my chin. And I'm getting rid of that little dot I put on my nose out of habit. As you can see in a second here, I accidentally stamped the concealer too far up on my eye and really make a mess of things trying to fix it, but I go back later with the purple eyeshadow and fix what I messed up. This is why a lot of people do their face first, but I find when I'm using dark eyeshadows, I like to start with my eyes. Anyway, I'm taking my Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder and I'm just setting the T-zone. And then my favorite bronzer, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer that smells amazing, and putting that all over my cheeks. I'm trying to use a little bit less bronzer than I was in the past. I think I've been going overboard lately, so I'm going on the lighter side, and I mean, yeah, I like it, I guess, but my husband commented and said, hey, you sometimes have a line on your face, and I think that means maybe I was going a little bit too far. Anyway, taking my Burt's Bees Toasted Cinnamon Blush, a really, really natural color, on the same brush and putting that all over my cheeks. I'm just setting my face with the Morphe setting spray before I finish up my eyes. I did forget to put brow gel on when I did my brows, so I'm using the Colourpop brow gel. I use a lighter shade of brown so that it doesn't darken my eyebrows up too much after I already apply the gel. So I'm just using the lighter brown for that. And making sure to run that all through my brows. Now, like I said, moving on to finish up the eyes. I am dipping into the same brown shade that we started with, and I'm buffing this along the lower lash line and making sure I connect it to that little wing that we made earlier with the purple eyeshadows, so that it all looks blended and cohesive. I'm just laying this down as a base before we dip into the purples again. And once I have that all over the lower lash line, I'm dipping into the Sagittarius again, the first purple shade we started with, and buffing this along the lower lash line. I'm focusing most of it on the outer third of the eye, and then I'm making sure to pinch my brush a little bit to get closer, and I am connecting it with the wing as well. And I can see I'm fixing the mistake I made with the concealer earlier right there. And repeating it on the other eye, and now I'm going into the darker purple framed in that Jaclyn Hill palette with Morphe, and I'm making sure I focus this one a lot closer to the lash line. I could have gone into another brush, but I wanted less cleanup, so I used the same one and just pinched it with my finger. And I'm making sure I definitely connect it with that wing at the top so that it looks cohesive. After repeating on the other eye, I am going to go back to the eyelid to finish up this look. We are creating a cut crease today, and I just like to put a little bit of the concealer on the back of my hand, and then I'm going in with this Wet n Wild brush. I actually got it at the dollar store, so quite a bargain, and using that to cut my crease. Still new at cut crease looks, but I'm really, really happy with how this cut crease turned out. Because of the shape of my eyes, I believe they're a little bit hooded. I have to make sure I don't look up while I'm doing this concealer because the concealer will transfer to the top of my eyelid. So I'm always trying to be really, really careful about that. As you can see on the end, I'm trying to make sure that it goes into a point with the concealer and follows the same shape as the wing that I flicked up. And I will use some eyeliner later to make sure that that edge looks nice and sharp. But that is the general shape I'm going for. I do apologize for the camera going out of focus there. And now I am taking that pink shade from the Dream Street palette. It's pink or red, depending on how you look at it. It looked more red on my eyelid, I think, but I'm going to go with pink. So it's more like a hot pink color, I guess. And I am applying that all over the lid. It does take a second for me because of the way I'm doing it, but as you can kind of see, the concealer did transfer to the purple. No matter how hard I try, that always happens, but I do go back and fix that. Anyway, I'm just making sure to pack that pink all over the lid as a base and make sure that I cover up all the concealer that we applied. This does take a little bit of time because you're trying to be exact, but have a little patience and it'll be worth it. And oh my gosh, big disaster about to happen, and there we go. A little bit of a slow-mo for you. Oh, that's painful. This is only the second time or so that I've used this. Don't open your Colourpop shadows, Super Shock shadows, sideways, please, because they do fall out every now and then. And it made a mess. So I'm trying to apply it with a brush. I don't know why I always try to apply these with a brush and it never works out. I even tried wetting it with my setting spray, but I ended up going for my finger in the end because these really do apply so beautifully with your finger. I just know I'm not as exact with my finger, which is why that base shade is so important. But I'm putting that all over the lid where we put the pink shade, and then I'm also putting it on the lower lash line so that it matches. I lined my waterline with some black eyeliner, again from Colourpop, and then I just put a little wing with this e.l.f. liquid liner. Yeah, they're definitely not even, but I put that wing on, and I actually decided not to run the wing all the way across and do it just on the outer third. Hey kitty. And as you can see, I applied the Colourpop Super Shock highlighter in on the cusp. And I like to do it with my finger first and then with a Real Techniques sponge. And I'm using the same highlighter for my inner corner highlight, just to tie the look together. As you can see with the liquid liner, I really do think that that brings it together and makes it look more cohesive. After I apply my Colourpop BFF mascara on the top and bottom lashes, we are done. Just giving you a bit of a close-up of the eyeshadow, and I really like how this turned out. I hope you guys do too. Now I'm pondering what kind of lipstick to use, and I went for a lip gloss, this So Juicy lip gloss. Not sure what shade I have, I'll put it in the description box along with the other products, but I thought that a glossy nude lip would be the best route to go. Apologies if you hear something in the background, my cat is playing with a ball right now, a ping pong ball. I do find this So Juicy lipstick is kind of hard to blend out, so I just have to use my finger a little bit for that. But yeah, that is the look complete. I really do hope that you guys give this look a try. It is something new for me. I'm really trying to expand my horizons and use a bit more color. And yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, that would be great. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye. Can you open the door?